Sorry about that, everyone. I had to reach over to grab my headphones. I left them over on the other table. Anyway, so we're alive, and I don't normally do this stuff. Well, I have been, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to normally do this stuff on my main channel here. This is normally. I don't know. Probably do this on some other channel. These kind of off the cuff. As soon as I see a story that I think is worth talking about in terms of, there's a lot to talk about and go over in kind of a live stream format. You know what I mean? Those types of things. So I probably won't normally do this on this channel, but this is a channel I have available to do these types of things, so I'm going to do it on this one. So let's talk about the M-103 thing, and it's kind of. Hold on, let me tweet out the link and shit like that. So if you don't know anything about M-103, it's a motion. So a motion is not a law. The fear is once you set the precedent for a motion, it becomes a law. So that's obviously the mindset of the protesters, and if you don't know what Motion 103 specifically is, well, it's a law that is supposed to combat Islamophobia, basically. It's stop racism. There's a three different things in the motion that's actually there. So hold on, let me grab the fucking link. And let's pull up Twitter like this. So just tweet this out. I'm not very good at multitasking, let's be honest here. Some people can talk and multitask. Not me. This is why I'm not a game streamer. I would just be like hyper focusing on my video game and couldn't follow. You know what I mean? I have to let the video play out and then pause and then talk. I can't comment and play video games at the same time. It'd be fucking great to do that, but that's not me. Let's go. Well, that's not gonna work. Let's go. What the hell? There we go. That'll get some regressives to come into my. I'm just teasing. Anyways, so we can exit out that. So, yeah. The problem I had with this is I didn't even know this was happening. So where was I talking about? I was talking about what the bill is. So the bill is kind of. We'll get into that. I believe it's in one of these articles. But the bill itself is just. It's essentially to stop Islamophobia. That's the gist of it. And so then, obviously, people who opposed the bill had their protests, and they had a nationwide protest at city halls around the country. And so the one in Quebec had this happened. Anti-Islamophobia motion provokes protest, counter-protest across Canada. Okay, so obviously so what happened was, so when there was the protest going on, which I didn't even know about. I didn't know about until I woke up, because it woke up literally after this happened, because it was supposed to happen at noon hour. I woke up after this happened, and so I'm like, Oops. I mean, I didn't know this was going on. I'm generally pretty active on the right wing, um, circles, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like I follow certain places there. You know what I mean? So I didn't know that this was happening, and yeah. Why did I wake up after noon hour? Well, because just playing guitar, and then I looked at the clock, and it was 3 in the morning. So I was like, oh, I should probably go to bed. Yeah. Anyways, so we have this protest, and so this is what they said. So anti-fascist protesters left clash with opposing protesters during a demonstration regarding M-103 in Montreal. So basically, the masked Antifa guys beat the shit out of somebody, but it's the anti-Islamophobia motion provokes the protest, right? What the fuck? Kind of retarded. I love these headlines though. These headlines are really fucked, and we're mostly going to criticize the media in this matter because the media is fucking retarded. Um, there were tense moments in the city, blah blah blah. Now I don't really care that much about this article because it's fairly boring. I mean, you just have both sides of the debate, but I want to go to what the actual bill is so that you understand what the bill is. Where the fuck do they talk about the bill itself? Yeah, okay. So there were M-103, a non-binding parliamentary bill that calls for the Canadian government to condemn Islamophobia and all kinds of forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination. So that's literally one of its stated goals, at least. Um, I believe there's a point. It might not be this article, but there's a point system, a point thing. Um, I forget which one it is, but I remember seeing a point by point thing where it is essentially, yeah, it was as before here. I'm not very well organized. I basically just woke up and said, "Fuck it, do it live." You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's one of its stated goals. I think there's a third. There's a second one that's collect data on hate crimes. So collect data on hate crimes, and if you don't know anything about how we determine hate crimes, well, according to CBC Marketplace, which is our state-run media organization, CBC, state-run media, it's financed by the taxpayer. Global isn't, but this is financed by the taxpayer. Just so you understand, CBC. Um, so uh, CBC Marketplace, they deemed that adding real Donald Trump is hate speech in terms of their how they collected their data. They included that phrase, adding real Donald Trump, unironically, to say, congratulations, President Trump, to include hate speech. And this is really the tactic of the media. They're trying to say, oh my God, look who America elected. Oh, get out and vote and protect Canada from fascism. That's the tact that they're going with, because the tactic of you're racist, bigot, blah, 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 you know what I mean? That didn't really work in the American election. You can't just say... And then as well as, I believe, maybe not so much what I just said there, but more so with kind of the tactic of essentially say, Donald Trump will never win. He'll never win. 99% chance for Hillary Clinton to win. That type of shit, right? So because of that type of shit, I think a lot of people, they argue that, oh, well, my candidate's gonna win no matter what, then why the fuck would I go out and vote? And so the Donald Trumpers had the urgency to go out and vote, and I think they're trying to harness that on the side of now that the right kind of feels like, oh wow, we got a victory, we got a victory with Brexit and Trump. I think in Canada they're taking a strategy of essentially, oh my God, it's alarming, right-wing extremism, oh, we really need to do something about it, kind of thing, and then it gets people out to go and vote, right? Whereas if you're on the right, you're kind of like, you might be like, we got Trump, we got this, we got that, whatever, right? So I almost feel like it's going to, it's hard to tell how that's going to play out in our election come, I believe it's 2018, or if it's 2019. No, it can't be 2019. Trudeau hasn't been in office. He's been in office longer than that. Is it the end of this year? No, can't be. I think, yeah, he won the election in 2015, but obviously that's the end of the year. So he won it, I think it was 2015 in November. If I'm, my memory serves me right? So there's just so much shit. So that's 2 of the 3. I can't remember the third one. The third one, I should know this off the top of my head, but brain farting, right? But anyways, yeah, it's condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination. There's some sort of, I think, what was it? Collect data on hate speech in Canada and collect something on, I think it was more so like some sort of advisory committee or something like that. Start a committee to do something. I don't really fucking remember. It probably wasn't that important. I find the collect data on hate speech. Say 6,000% rise in hate speech crime when we include adding real Donald Trump, Muhammad Ali, Republicans, and then just throw in Zeke Kyle in there. Fucking nonsense, guys. So anyways, you have all this hysteria. I primarily want to criticize the media because you have all this hysteria and just nonsense of the media just really pushing this. And it's like, holy fuck, you know what I mean? You have, will M-103 be the first hashtag nominated for a Hugo Award? What the fuck? Do I have to pull it up? Do I have to play it? Do I? Let's do it. Fuck it.
This is breaking news with Peter Jennings. Team America has once again pissed off the entire world after blowing up half of Cairo. And now some Hollywood celebrities are lashing out. Alec Baldwin is head of the Film Actors Guild.
The Film Actors Guild believes that what the world needs is compassion, not violence. All that Team America does is create new enemies.
Let me explain to you how this works. You see, the corporations finance Team America. And then Team America goes out, and the corporations sit there in their corporation buildings, and see that they're all corporation-y, and they make money. Last year, I went to Iraq. Before Team America showed up, it was a happy place. They had flowery meadows and rainbow skies and rivers made of chocolate where the children danced and laughed and played with gumdrops.
Do I need to... I think you've seen enough. It's fucking satire. It's satire all the way. And... it gets violent. The funny part is it's a violent organization. And their satirization. Oh, for fuck's
Back, you know.
Susan Sarandon. Oh, thank God. We have to stop the ceremony. Kim Jong-il is mad. Here, let me loose. I'll show you where the theater is. Let's go, bitch. I've done action films. Come on!
Like, you get the point. If you've seen the fucking show, you've seen the fucking show. I don't need to fucking explain a fucking satire to you, do I? Do I need to explain a satire to you? There's one really funny line in there by Tim Robinson's puppet. I think it was something along the lines of we're here for peace, and then he lock and loads an AK and says something really fucking what is it? Completely ironic and unself-aware. Now, this is the state of the media. This is an analyst article. This is what we're paying for, right? This is what we're paying for. Quebec's far right looks for show of strength 1 month after mosque attack. Oh my God. The province's far right groups strike aggressive tone against efforts to marginalize them. Like, Jesus fuck, guys. Jesus fuck. Pegida, Quebec, an offshoot of a German anti-immigrant street movement, had its own Facebook page removed by the site. So you're not denying... This is the problem with them. They're like, good, they banned it. They banned their speech. Good job, guys, you're proving their point. I don't know if you noticed, but you're proving their point. They're saying you're censoring their speech, and then you go and do you praise Facebook censoring the speech. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you are fucking idiots. This is why 2017 honestly is the year of fag being the most real it could possibly ever be. Maybe I just wasn't woke before, but holy fuck, guys. I don't remember it being this bad. I don't remember it being this bad at all. It's just... Now, to be fair to the article, they didn't praise it, but it's there's gonna be some people out there, cheering, woohoo, we're the anti-fascists, right? I should be, very clear, but obviously, opposing Islam is far right. Let's beat. We need to beat this myth to death, okay? This myth is gone far enough. It's time to get some facts. Why Hitler wished he was a Muslim. This is the Wall Street Journal, guys, so highly reputable thing. Now, obviously, you have to sign in order to read this fucking article. So, we're going to push over to here, where they have quoted the entire article, which is quite nice, so we don't have to buy a subscription. Why Hitler wished he was a Muslim, January 25th. Yeah. It's been our misfortune to have the wrong religion, Hitler complained to his pet architect Albert Speer. Why did it have to be Christianity with its meekness and flappiness? Islam was a religion of men, and hygienic too. The soldiers of Islam received a warrior's heaven, a real earthly paradise, with whores of wine flowing. Howers, I don't know it. Not whores. This, Hitler argued, was much more suitable to the Germanic temperament than the Jewish filth and Poseidon's twaddle of Christianity. For decades, historians have seen Hitler's beer hall Pusk of 1929 as emulating Mussolini's 1922 March on Rome. Hitler also had Turkey in mind, not just the 1908 March of the Young Turks on Constantinople, which brought down the government and committed an Armenian genocide. Right? Reasonable discussion. Just take some advice there, Shank. After 1917, the bankrupt, defeated, and cosmopolitan Ottoman Empire contracted into vigorous tyrannic nation-state. In the early 1920s, the new Turkey was the first revisionist power to opt out of the post-war system, retaking lost lands on the Syrian coast and control over the Strait of Dardanelles. Hitler, Mr. Inaugurant writes, saw Turkey as a model of prosperous and volistic modern state. So, I don't know what the fuck volistic means. Through the 1920s and 1930s, Nazi publications lauded Turkey as friend and forerunner. We need to skip ahead. This was not Germany's first case of Turkish fever. Oh. No, let's just keep continuing on. That demanded absolute obedience. Ataturk's subordination of Islam to the state anticipated Hitler's strategy toward Christianity. The Nazis presented Turkey as stronger for having massacred its Armenians and expelling its Greeks, who Hitler asked in 1939 speaks today of the extermination of the Armenians. Hitler loves Islam? Yeah, it gets worse. This was not Germany's first case of Turkish fever. Turkey had slid into World War I not by accident, but because Germany had greased the tracks, training officers, supplying weapons, and drawing the country away from Britain and France. Hitler wanted to repeal the Kaiser's experiments in search of a better result. By 1936, Germany supplied half of Turkey's imports and brought half of Turkey's exports, notable chromite, vital for steel production. But Ataturk hedged his bets and dodged a decisive friendship. After Ataturk's death in 1938, his successor, whoever, Turkish name, tackled between the powers. In 1939, Turkey signed a treaty of mutual defense with Britain, but in 1941, Turkey agreed to a treaty of friendship with Germany, securing Hitler's southern flank before he invaded Russia. The dude hinted that Turkey would join the fight if Germany could conquer the Caucasus. That's interesting. Maybe that's the motivation for Hitler joining, for trying to invade basically Russia before he was ready. That's an interesting. I wonder if that was his motivation really and truly, because I've never heard this fucking story before in my fucking life, and holy shit. This is pretty important to history, it seems like. If this is Hitler's motivation for invading the Caucasus, which everyone's like, why the fuck did you do that, Hitler? What the fuck? And just so you're aware what this is, it's kind of like right here, right? So it's you have to invade Russia in order to invade the Caucasus, right? You have to. Otherwise, you're going through Turkey, which is nuts. Why would you? Unless you secured a march through Turkey. There's only one way to get to the Caucasus, right? And it's through. Yeah. As David Mandel writes, in Islam and Nazi Germany's war, Muslims fought on both sides in World War II, but only Nazis and Islamists had a political spiritual romance. Both groups hated Jews, Bolsheviks, and liberal democracy. Both sought what Michael praised the Iranian Revolution in 1979 would later call, which if you're not aware of that, that's basically when there's the whole fucking picture of try to find it real quick, but if I start searching my shit. Try and search my crap. See if I can find it. I have it somewhere, but yeah, the Iranian Revolution, if you're not sure of that, that's basically when, most people who would hate the Catholic Church today, should really fucking hate that stuff. And the reason why is consistency. Let's find it. Live stream. Right here. This little bad boy. So this is what happened. This is the revolution that took place. That's your Arab Revolution in 1979. That's what they did. Because Islam, guys, theocracy. It's literally theocracy. Anyone who would hate the Catholic Church, anyone who would hate Christianity, should hate this 10 times more, because our religion in current state, our old, dying religion, Christian religion, in its current state, doesn't fucking do this at all. I don't think there's anything that it dictates that a woman should wear, cannot wear, or whatever. I think there's advocation for, hey, Miley Cyrus, don't fuck a dildo on stage. There's definitely opposition to that in terms of that's morally fucked up, but pretty understandable, right? There's advocacy just in common sense circles to say, hey, a girl that has gotten intoxicated, in order to avoid rape, it's a good idea to not get into situations where it might be dangerous for you. So it's a good idea to go out with a group of friends. It's a good idea to, just be aware that there's things that you can do to promote your safety, because we don't want you to get raped. That's the point. It's like, right, I'm gonna go into a battlefield where I need to kill people without a gun. It's that type of thing. It's like, be prepared. I'm gonna go out into the wilderness, do some sort of Bear Gyles Survivor Man shit, and just go completely naked and afraid, and I'm completely unprepared. I don't have any tools, nothing. I don't have any knowledge. I'm just a regular city folk. You're gonna fucking die. You're gonna fucking die so fucking fast if you have no knowledge, no preparation whatsoever in order to harm, in terms of tools or preparation, in terms of knowledge to survive in the wilderness if you have no idea how to do so. Okay? That just saying there. Just saying. It's not about oh, you're victim, you were wearing a skirt late at night when you were intoxicated, when you were supposedly raped. Therefore, perpetrator free. No. He's still a rapist. What it really comes down to is hey, don't you want to be less likely to be raped, because getting raped is bad. So do things that will not make you the victim. Who the fuck wants to go to court? Nobody wants to go to court. Nobody wants to get raped. Nobody wants to be wronged. Why? Just accept that there's certain realities about reality, certain truths about reality that, statistically speaking, this is more safe. Can we agree to that? Safety is good. Personal safety. That's the point of that argument. But anyways, if you're far atheist, liberal, whatever the fuck, even atheist, right wing, I don't care what the fuck you are. And you hate the Catholic Church, all the fucking priests, fucking bishops, fucking pope. But wizard fuck, you know, right? You're just because, you know, you're, I don't know, maybe beaten the shit out of when you were a kid because your parents were assholes. I don't know what the fuck it is, and you just completely reject it. Like, I've been to a Catholic sermon or whatever, and I was just like, what the fuck is this shit? Because I'm not Catholic. I'm not Catholic at all. So I'm like, this is some weird wizard shit. That where the fuck does it say this in the Bible, kind of thing, right? And so, no offense to Catholics, if you want to have, you know, your whole quote unquote wizard shit, go ahead. You're being peaceful. Just don't fuck little boys, and I'm cool with that. And, you know, mass majority don't fuck little boys. Obviously, that's kind of a Vatican thing. It appears. I don't know how big or you know, there's probably bishops involved in this thing, but or were involved in it at least. But at the very least, you know, the main Catholic on the ground is just a peaceful dude, and, you know, he likes Catholicism. Good for him. Great. Freedom of religion. You know, you're allowed to criticize that religion. Islam, no. No. This is where the double standard comes in. You can't criticize this. Why? I don't fucking know. But maybe it's worth criticizing theocracies. Don't you think of that? Maybe. I think that should be at least open to criticism. You want to criticize a European theocracy ideology? Okay, then why don't we criticize a theocracy that's completely alien to us? How about that? How about that? I mean, I'm much. If I had to pick one, I would rather live under a Christian theocracy than a Muslim theocracy. Not even if I had, you know, no religious affiliation with Christianity. If I was completely atheist, I would rather live under a Christian theocracy. Believe me. And you'd be like, oh, holy shit! He said that. He literally. Yes. You know why? Because you're not gonna like this, but read both books and you'll understand why. You'll understand why. Read both scriptures. You'll understand why. Read imams from the Middle East in Islamic theocracies' interpretation of Sharia law, because there's Sharia does mean different things to different people. There's, generally speaking, a right and wrong way that's up for debate, which I believe that the liberal debaters kind of have the underhand, because although they say, hey, freedom, they don't really have the underhand when it comes to what the actual scripture means, I believe, to that extent. If you ask me, but I mean, I'm a pleb on the internet, right? Anyways, that's Islamic theocracy, and when people call Islam fascist, this is what they mean. The original fascist loved Islam. He wished he was a Muslim. He wished Germany was Islamic because it would be far easier to have Hitler youth soldiers. Which sounds fucking nuts, but that's the reality. So let's go through other stuff. Hope and hate. Rally divides descend on Hamilton City Hall. So these are the fascists, the Antifa, and these are the fascists. I use quotations in that because we know that's bullshit. Hate and fear are dangerous weapons. That's the message, as about 300 people converged on City Hall on Saturday to rival demonstrations that saw tears and yelling marches halted by Hamilton police. Islamaphobia is a powerful weapon invented by the Muslim Brotherhood. I have to say that, but my citation is on this channel. It's Islamophobia of Canada, or the Islamophobia of Canada. Where the fuck live stream that was? I think it was like the fourth 2-hour live stream that I did. So it's somewhere in there. I don't mean to be like, oh, look it up, bruh. But I did go over this. I did go over this. This isn't BS, if you ask me. It's no less damaging than a missile fired from an F-16 plane. I'm gonna get another drink. I need to settle down. That was what the. Yeah, I need to grab another drink. Sorry about that interruption. Hold on here. Oh, okay. Bring it back to sanity before I fucking unload. I don't think I need to explain how words are not anywhere comparable to blowing up shit. Okay? I don't think I need to explain that. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I hope the Hamilton community recognize Islamophobia is a phenomenon that's here and alive. Opposition to Islam is a phenomenon that's here and alive because of you fucks. You fucks. Okay? Okay? It's here and it's alive because of you fucks. Opposition to Islam. Because I'm sorry, but nobody wants to get their hands chopped off for stealing. Nobody wants to get a fucking beanbag head put over their face when they have to go outside. No woman wants to. Personally, I don't want. If I had a wife, I would not want to subjugate her in that way because it means I have to go her everywhere if she wants to go shopping. I'd be like, no, fuck off. Go with your girlfriends. I don't care. I don't want to go with you to the beauty salon. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Just go. Just go. I don't need to accompany you. I don't want that. I personally don't want the subjugation of my woman. Because that's just retarded. That's just no. It's easier for me to fuck off and sit on the couch and watch some TV and be like, yeah, go get the groceries. I don't care. Get whatever the fuck you need. I'd much rather do that. It's so much more easy, so more convenient. Road tripping. Want to do a road trip? Oh, well, you have to do all the driving because you're the man. If I want to go somewhere fast, I'd rather switch drivers every 8 hours. Fucking hell. There's reasons why Canadian men do not want Islamification of Canada. It's not just women. It's not just women. There are personal reasons. Not to mention the moral reasons. The moral reasons that we are liberals. I mean that in the sense of, hey, we're a liberal society. We believe in individual liberty. We believe in free speech. We believe in you can wear whatever the fuck you want. You can listen to whatever the fuck you want. Play whatever video games you want. That's liberal. That's liberalism. Criticize religion. That's liberalism. Criticize whatever the fuck you want. Go. Christianity, open to criticism. Islam, no. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm sorry, I'm pushing my outrage cannon, but that when I hear this fucking argument that words are the same as fucking bombs, I just want to reach through the screen and strangle the fucking neck of whoever said that. Because you literally do not deserve to be on this earth because you are idiotic. And I don't mean that as, like, a threat, but just as the stupidity argument, you know, the idiocracy argument. Like, you are so stupid that you need to be castrated because holy fuck. But I mean, I don't mean that as an advocation that I want this person castrated. Ugh. Castrations are evil. It was intended as an insult of how stupid that person is, because honestly, it would be because of their dumb fucking words, it would make sense. At the same time that it's a precedent that we cannot do, because I don't know if you noticed, but that would be fascist. And I'm not advocating for fascism, even though everyone has a little bit of a fascist bone in their body, because they're like, my God, you're fucking insane. You're stupid. Holy fuck, shut up, kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? Everyone has that because of how stupid some people across the aisle on both sides are. Even just people in the middle. Regardless. 90% of Muslims don't work. You don't work? Let's listen to this. Okay. No sooner than she said it, there came a commotion from the back of the rally, causing officers and the 4 mounted police horses unseen to move toward them. 90% of Muslims don't work. You don't work. You work, you eat. It's as simple as that. I hear it 500 fucking times when I'm building settlements in Fallout 4. Yeah. There's a big argument for those who do not pay tax should not vote. And it's I have my oppositions to it because I don't really want to see people become bums. And so if bums cannot vote for their self-interest, you know, especially in Canada, where it's like if we have a problem with shelters, that's kind of difficult, you know. Like you have to provide, as a pragmatic stance, you have to provide shelters in Canada just because of our climate. In California, maybe not so much. You probably have to provide maybe soup kitchens and stuff like that. Like, I'm not like some guy that's like, hey, get rid of all socialism, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I understand the pragmatic stance of socialist policies, although the utopian is privatization. If that makes any sense. You understand what I'm saying here? Holy fuck. Shit's glitching out. They're coming after us. We're hate speech in here, boys. Yelled. So anyways, this was a frail-looking senior who identified himself as an immigrant from Hamilton from Holland. Represent baby boomers. He was alone in a crowd of protesters who stood in disbelief, yelling at him to go home. Okay. That hit home. It hurt. I work hard. I'm a proud... No, you should be a proud Canadian. Ugh! Fuck these identities. Fuck these identities. I hate this. I hate this. And I'm going to do a video on this later, but... So I won't mention it here, but... This is the fucking issue, is... If you're going to have a country, especially like Canada, you must have... We are in no way... ethnically, like there's only 2 ways you have a state. Either it's along ethnic lines or it's along civic nationalism. There's no way this doesn't work out. Anywhere else is utopian. It's never been tried before. It's been tried before, presumably, and it's failed. It's never successfully happened. As a history buff, I've never seen either a nation state exist where there was either imperial... I'll add one more to that. Imperialship, so, you know, divine right type stuff. True subjugation. civic nationalism or ethnic homogeneity. Okay? I don't know if you noticed about Canada, but we are nowhere close to ethnic homogenous. Even white people versus white people have divides. French Canadians versus Anglophones. Francophones versus Anglophones. Clear divide. We're not ethnically homogenous in that respect. There's an ethnic divide there. There's even one that's completely, and it's not even to do with language or like foundation, because that goes back to colonies, right? That divide, the Anglophone versus the Francophone. There's even simply the divide between, everyone says East versus West. I believe it's more rural versus urban in Canada. Very huge divide because the rural, because Canada is so geographically huge, like huge, fucking huge. You have a lot of rural areas, and so there's a lot of people that just, they're rural. They everything they have, right? And so there's plenty of provinces that, have, very rural mindsets, but yet have no fucking representation in on the federal level, because the reality is Toronto's 8 million people. Greater Toronto area is 8 million people. Vancouver, similar numbers. Quebec City, Montreal, similar numbers. Those 4 cities, this is 4 cities. This makes up like, I don't want to fuck up the numbers, but it's well over half. It's well over half the electorate. So, and I'm not talking about just population. I'm talking about the electorate. Just over half. So when you think about it, our electorate is governed by basically 4 cities. Our country is governed whether you can attract 4 cities or not. I mean, of course, you can grab the rural area, because 20% isn't nothing, but let's face it, it's only 20%. You can't win on a platform simply by just the ruralites. You can't win on a platform by that. You can't. Everyone says it's East versus West. I think there is some East versus West mentality to some extent, but I think the similarities are far closer to rural versus urbanites. That's just my perspective. Other than Maritimers. Maritimers are full liberals. They're full progressive liberals. I don't mean to say that as a pejorative, but that's just what they are. They're maybe not Trudeau progressive, but they're definitely like, they're not like other rurals. Anyways, that's gone long enough. Yeah. That hit home. It hurt. Did it hurt as much as getting blown up by an F-16? Did it hurt as much as that? Oh, no, because you're still intact. Your body is literally intact, even though somebody shouted at you a hate fact, so to speak. I don't know if not. Let's fact check that right now, even though they do not seem to be fact checking it whatsoever. This just goes into the protest, so there's no more stories portraying the antidote as color for the argument that Islamophobia bad. Okay, so let's go to that. I'll do 2. I'll do Canada and Hamilton. Faced high unemployment. Oh, so it's high. Is it 90%? Maybe not. I doubt it's 90%, but I'll be shocked. But some estimates, 13.9%, which is 7.8 to the national average. Okay. Now, I'll be frank here. It's not the native unemployment rate, which is basically, if you don't know anything about Native Americans are basically are blacks. If it sounds the way I phrase it sounds retarded and grossly disgusting, but it's kind of like, compared to America, it's like I'm going to use quotations here because I'm not going to say the black problem, okay? That's just a terrible way of phrasing it. But the problems with the black communities that plague the black communities, the inner cities and stuff like that, it's very comparable to the native population, especially in the West, where I'm from. I see these ghettos. I'm not particularly let's put it this way. I'd rather not get stabbed. And so, on the face of it, I'm like, I can walk on the street and I'm like, oh, you just keep to yourself and you probably won't get stabbed. But the last thing I want to do is put myself in a situation, or if I have to identify a situation right off the top of the head, I'm like, if a native pulls a knife on me, I'm like, oh shit, I might react differently if it was a white guy. If it was a white guy, I might be like, oh, he's mugging me, stay cool. Or if it's native guy, I don't know. I might be more fearful, if that makes any sense, or might try to stop the knife attacker. I don't know, but there's that's kind of a dumb example. But if there's a native guy being skittish, I might be less likely to confront him. I'm probably more likely to flee rather than confront that guy. If fleeing is an option, obviously, right? It's just the reality of the crime statistics. I know plenty of native people that are not like this at all, but when I have to make quick assessment situations on the street, you gotta look out for your own personal safety, and stereotypes exist for a reason. They're not just, oh, we're racist. I'm sorry, but the stereotype that black people are super athletic, it holds up on the Olympics. I'm just saying. Usain Bolt, you do realize he's the fastest man on the face of the planet. He's black. Just saying, he wins gold medals every time it's not even a competition at this point. Like, fucking hell, I have to explain everything. The NBA, full of black people. Stereotypes exist for a reason. They're not just always arbitrary, like racism. I don't mean to bring this into a crime argument or native. I'm very pro. Hey, let's clean up the native community. That this is a good thing. We need to help them. Obviously, not in the way. I don't think social. I don't think economic welfare is good. I think social welfare, and there's a difference between that. Social welfare is essentially all right, providing good father figures, good role models to youth that their parents could not give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. The most successful native people I know have good parents. We have so many programs in place to get them into higher education. They just don't take it. You literally look at these. The people who run these scholarships and programs, their biggest problem is lack of native people applying. Some years they just don't hand these things out because nobody applied to a scholarship, a internship, a degree. It's very common for this shit to happen. Anyways, this is enough. So 13.9%, large, not as large as native populations. I know that for a fact. For in terms of unemployment, but higher than 7.8. Is it 90%? No, but of course, that's it's not a hate fact when it does happen, right? It's not. Basically, what they want to dismiss it as, that guy's crazy nut job, and this is the type of shit we're fighting, Islamophobia. Well, they do have the point he was making that they have a higher unemployment rate is true. It's just not 90%. That was, I think, hyperbolic. Potentially. I don't know, because this is in a text, and clearly this article is trying to frame him as a crazy nut job. Hundreds gather at Winnipeg City Hall to counter rally against M-103. So this is a little bit more Western, not to mention, and of course, it's all these articles, like, just do a news search on M-103 protest, news search. Every single article is, look at all the anti-Islamaphobia, sorry. Look at all of the supporting, all the Muslim communities out here, blah, blah, blah. They're all protesting these crazy racists. That's the framing of the argument. The support is, if you're anti-M-103, you're in the minority. This is sick. This is sick. This is how the media is portraying this. This is fucked up. Fewer than 20 protesters in Winnipeg. Okay, that's fucking great, but consensus doesn't make it, like, that's the thing, is, like, if I would have known about it, I might have actually considered attending this protest. I didn't even know about this protest, okay? This is how bad you guys are at your fucking job. You'll promote every leftist protest, every left-leaning protest, every progressive protest, and yet the first article about a right-leaning one comes out when it happens. So to show, oh, look, the anti-protest is bigger than the actual protest to M-103. Canadian consensus. It's about the amount of people that showed up. That's really what it is. I mean, they picked a Saturday to do this, obviously. Jeez, fucking hell, man. Fucking hell. Yeah, basically it's just all these articles are just saying nobody supports you. Let's listen to some quotes. I feel empowered by the people that have shown up as a counter-protest for the hate that was being incited in the city. Who confronted a man holding a sign with what he said was a I don't know if it is or isn't, but that is a citation. Oh my god. But you know, can't. That's a hate fact. Oh my god. I'm trying to explain this, compartmentalize this to try and explain this, how this is happening. Okay, so who confronted a man with a sign he said was a verse from the Quran. Who said he was a verse from the Quran, okay? Double standards. Apply the same standard. Would they say this for if this was a verse in the Bible? No way. No fucking way. They would not say, oh, he claimed it was. They would say it was a verse. Not to mention, they just completely brush over it. I want to know, what verse did he cite? Did he cite it incorrectly? Did he screw up one word according to the Shadifa Kwafa writing of the Quran? Like, come on, there's multiple different writings of the Quran. If it's very likely maybe he screwed up one fucking word, but the context of the thing is still the same. What did he actually say? What was the verse? I can't look it up. I literally cannot fact check this because, oh my god, I can't fact check this. But I'm assuming it was something that Muhammad said or that is in the Quran that's pretty fucked up. I'm gonna guess that. Maybe fight them and kill them wherever you see them when talking about the Jews and shit like that. Because then it segues into, I was really frustrated as a Jewish queer woman here. They want to kill you. Sorry, this is frustrating. This is frustrating. No. We're not gonna article this. We are going to YouTube this. We are going to fucking YouTube this. Oops. I'm gonna show you. Hey. Let's Born to hate Jews. Jews and Muslims clash. Blaming the Jews. Muslim anti-Semitism. BBC documentary. Jews and Muslims. What do they have? Why Muslims hate Jews? I didn't type hate because we know what hate would. Muslims beating Jews. Let's. In Paris, France. Let's skip ahead to where we can actually find it.
C'est tous des putains de mômes.
Ils se rebellent, là, ils se rebellent contre lui.
C'est clair. C'est tous des putains de mômes. C'est un jeu, ils balancent des chaises. Moi j'attends de voir l'arrivée des CRS, ça va être marrant.
So apparently this is a Jewish and Muslim mob fighting each other. Apparently. Where does it get into where they fight each other?
Sale pute, va!
I honestly can't tell which is which, but does it really matter? Does it really fucking matter? Jewish attacked by Muslim in Melbourne.
Jimmy, get the hell off there! Hey! Get the hell off there!
What's going on?
You have come and talk nicely.
What's going on?
Come and
I
talk nicely. That is not nice.
They will shut your mouth.
Hey! Hey! Why are you talking?
Keep going. Take it, Australian Army. Take it, Australian Army.
Arab bully being a Jewish guy for no reason. like Jesus fuck. I could just the whole live stream could just be this. Could just be this. Let's do something completely. And so let's see the actual specific results. Okay, we that doesn't work because nobody titled their title that specifically, unfortunately. But As you can see, the titles are Jewish and Muslims, like Jew attacked by Arab bully. Reply. Now some of this is something like this West Bank stuff, right? Obviously, Jews take beating. Amazing, Muslim saves them. Who did he get attacked by? Jewish man had beaten in France by Muslim. Okay, so obviously there's gonna be like not all 300 not all those results are gonna be the Jewish guy getting beaten by an Arab or a Muslim, right? But look how many of them. Look at this, the fucking imams. Have you seen this one? Is super viral. Like, just you don't have to look very hard. Okay, now let's go to hang gays. ISIS throws gay men off buildings. UK Sharia pose enforcing Sharia law harasses gays and women. Moderate Muslim being gay in Islam is prohibited. How to deal with gay people and gay Muslims. Gays speak out against Muslims. Dude, Muslims hate gay people. Gay execution. Fucking hell. It was really frustrating as a gay Jewish queer woman. Oh, man. You were advocating for your own suicide. I'm sorry. They will be the first they kill. The first they kill will be you. Because you're not only a filthy Jew, I'm using quotations here, because this is the words from actual imams. You're not only a filthy Jew, but a dirty gay as well. And a woman not covered. Oh, you are a triple threat. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. That is the sort of propaganda that was used to incite hate in World War II. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No. No. I'm just. This is like a does not compute. This is me wanting to go up to these people and just be like, bitch slap them with facts. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, this is the problem with the media. They only interview these fucking people. And then they interview the other side of the story. I'm just here checking with my family, checking out the protests, seeing what's going on, seeing how many people are here, are for these immigrants coming in, imposing their Sharia on us. We're not promoting hate at all. We're expressing a right to freedoms. So I should say it's not necessarily the media that's... There's certain media. When the media phrases headlines like this, because of the clickbait maybe not even clickbait culture, but just the fact that they want to frame it this way, because nobody reads fucking articles these days. They only read headlines. Like I've seen so many fucking people try to argue with me on Twitter that post articles that have headlines, and then I read the article. I'm like, the article doesn't say anything that you're arguing. It doesn't support anything that you're arguing. Did you not read the article? Oh no, I only read the headline. Well, there's your fucking problem. But furthermore is the fact that even when they grab it, they just say they grab retards, fucking retards, morons, fucking morons, and then they grab the most. If they could grab a more extreme guy on the right, or in pro of this bill, they would, but they can't. They can't, because this is the most extreme example they interviewed, which is not extreme at all. That's the funny part about this shit. That's the most ridiculous part about this shit. Rival protesters converge on Winston Churchill Square over anti-Islamophobia motion. What is this, Edmonton Journal? Man was led away by the police in handcuffs from a demonstration in Edmonton Saturday after he ripped down a banner of counter-protest group and tossed it into the air. What's the context? On the far left of Winston Churchill Square, a protest group from Canadian Coalition concerned with citizens' count, organized by Black Lives Matter. A woman who wants Sharia law. She's a Muslim. She's fucking nuts. I believe she takes if it's not Saudi, I think it's Qatari funds somehow. I think it's through the Muslim Brotherhood. I'm not sure about that. I'm not even sure what the leaning of Edmonton Journal is. About 24 men and women converged on Winston Churchill Square, waving place cards and Canadian flags around lunchtime to protest non-binding motion M-103 that calls for the Canadian government to condemn Islamophobia and all forms of systemic racism and religious discrimination. No, it doesn't actually say that. It says condemn Islamophobia and forms of systemic racism. Like, it's nuts. It's nuts. Islam is a race. No, it isn't. Alright, are you fucking idiot? Are you idiot? Arab, that's a race. Afghani, that's nationality, not a race. Kurdish, I guess that's a race. Fucking hell. The Edmonton March for Freedom, Liberty and Justice protest, which the man was part of, was one of 66 organized by a group called Canadian Coalition of Concerned Citizens that stands against Sharia law and globalization. Pretty reasonable goals, I would say. Pretty reasonable goals. See, I don't know who was the man that was let. They just mentioned this. They don't rip down a banner of a counter-protest group. Okay. This man did it. Well, what is the context of this scuffle? What is the context? Because we're going to know this in just a second, but looks like no one showed up to quit Halifax M-103 protest. These are partisan hacks. They're just gloating the fact that their political ideology is the winner in the contest. Let's actually look at the fucking protests themselves, because I've talked about how the media. We know how the media has characterized them. Now let's talk about the actual protests. Let's talk about the actual protests. Let's actually start with this stuff. So, keeping in mind the Islam banner thing, let's listen to this a little bit.
I don't want to. You don't want me to speak? Is that okay?
You need to get in their space.
It's bad audio, but just bear with it, I guess.
Okay, you're going to have your space to do your thing, but this is their camera, okay? If you keep encroaching, you're interfering with her right to use this camera, okay?
Yeah, but I don't think this, I'm not breaking any laws by just
You could be, though.
Yeah, but this is me. I need to speak, though. This is you're stopping my freedom of speech. I'm not. You're talking right now. I'm not blocking. No, you're blocking. I need to speak.
She's allowed to use it for what she wants, okay?
I use more. Just filming in the
With her,
space.
right? Correct?
Yes. Yes, he's with us.
Okay.
How do you know it's not?
Message. You guys can
They were
speak your
here
message.
earlier. It doesn't matter. We made the arrangement to be here together. That's not right what you're doing. I'm sorry. I just think you're hurting my feeling now. Yeah, and I also think you're hurting my feeling a lot. I didn't do anything. Really? Okay, let me do
Her right to let them have.
I'm not very did anything.
Do everything with your camera.
I'm not disrupting.
But anyways, you have random people being jerk-offs like this, where it's like, oh, I'm not doing nothing wrong. Oops. It's worse acting than fucking NFL. Like, oops, I didn't knock him over. I didn't draw a penalty. Not me. I didn't foul. Like, it's worse acting than the fucking NBA. Let's be honest. I shouldn't say NFL, because NFL, it's a lot of contact, but NBA, oh my god, every fucking time, like, oh, I got knocked over, oh, acting, like, oh my god. it's kind of pussy-footed. I'll be honest. I don't watch basketball, to be honest. I'd rather watch a hockey fight than basketball. Sorry, guys. Toxic masculinity. Hey, it's entertaining to watch people fight. This is coming from the same people who absolutely eat up reality TV of or like those drama ones where they're like conflict, Mean Girls, shit like that. So the idea that people don't like conflict as forms of entertainment is just ridiculous. It's pretty clear, I would say. Now clearly you can tell what's going on here is people she's obviously provoking this woman by basically being a jerk off and disrespecting essentially what she wants to do, kind of thing, right? Like it's like in a normal situation, somebody would be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm in your way. Okay, I'll move out. Oh, sorry. That's a normal conversation in Canada. This is them agitating just by being in the way, and so they know the cops present. So like, oops. They know the ref's there, so they're like, oops, I didn't foul. I didn't break the law. I'm not pissing somebody off. And it's like, no, I can clearly see you're pissing somebody off. Fuck off. Get out of the way.
All right, let's go.
Okay, we're going to have to back up.
All right, I'm all set up.
Can you give me your name, ma'am?
My name is Fernand Zakarian.
Can you spell that, please?
Zakarian.
Can you spell your first name as well?
Fernand, Fernande.
Okay. So what is it about... Can you tell me what is it about the motion M-103 that you...
So the reason, thank you again for the opportunity. The reason we are coming out here is not to oppose any individuals in particular. We are here to oppose a doctrine that is called against the freedom of speech, in our opinion. And the motion 103, it is a motion...
Here come the commies.
That is trying to become a law, and we believe strongly this is the whole agenda behind it, is to change the right for all Canadians to speak openly.
What a prick. I'm sorry. He's just trying to piss people off so they can start a kerfuffle. He wants to fight. They want to fight. The anti-fascists, they want to fight. They want to piss people off. There's spoiled rich... Like, look at this guy. Look, you can tell this guy is a young faggot. Like, look, he can't be more than 20 years old. Well, can't be more than 25 years old. No fucking way he can be more than 25 years old. Look how baby-faced that shit is. Maybe he's a little bit older now that I see it, but... Let's face it, scrawny 110-pound college kid, college fag, college commie. They're useful idiots. They're useful idiots, guys. Now let's talk about how this is how the... Let's talk about rubbing it in their face. Looks like no one showed up into, let's look at that actual protest. Video the protest. Because I like video. Video it's hard to kind of paint a narrative with video, right? It's hard to paint narrative. Like, obviously there is context to every clip. There's things that happen before you hit record. There's things that happen after you hit record. And there's things that record didn't capture because on account that it's not a 360-degree multicam, you know what I mean? But video's usually good. This is a Halifax anti-protest that showed up to... Do you hear that? Refugees are welcome here. Oh no. Should I tell them? Who also said this? Who else has said this? Images. Oh, look at that. Come on, internet. Let's go. Look at that. Oh. Tolerant and understanding of his life choices. Refugees welcome here. Oh. Oh. Where is those German trains? German train stations. Let's look at that. Oh. Look at this heartfelt propaganda. You can tell this is German now. Oh, look at that. Welcome. Everyone coming out to welcome these people. It's so nice. It really is idealistic and utopian. It's nice to. I'm not even downplaying it. It's a nice thing to say, but then we look at reality, and we look at German refugee crime map. Uh-oh. This is early. This is by the end of it. Oh my god. Uh-oh. Oh no. Let's try and get a resolution that we can actually see. I guess this is the highest resolution here. Yeah, See those little those wavy lines? The bangs are terrorist attacks. Actual terrorist attacks. Brussels bombing, Budapest shit, right? Actual terrorist attacks. These wavy things, those are sexual molestations in pools. These warning signs, foiled terrorist attacks. The black ones? I forgot what the black one's in, but there's something to do with homicide. One of them's honor killings. That's its own category. And then there's a whole bunch of these ones that are covered underneath. It's child rape. Let's actually look. Let's look for this map. Let's now look for this map. The Ensfall map, 2017. This is this year. This is the crime for this year. We've totally completed only 2 months yet so far of 2017. Let's look at the migrant crime. Sorry about the loading, it's having troubles. Oh no, look at that. Fires, arson. Look at this. Oh no. Would you? Oh no. Child molestation of a girl. Another child molestation of a girl. There's different categories for each molestation, right? So one of them is a marriage. Another one is, and it's a sanctioned marriage by imams. Another one is, other ones are rape. Other ones are groomings. Essentially, they go up and they touch. Look at that. Oh no, Berlin. Let's look at the actual towns. A hard hit town. Let's look at one town. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this one little town. 7 issues with migrant crime. One little town in 2 months. In 2 months. I have to say. How big is this? Yeah. This town isn't much bigger than what I live in. I'll be honest. Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine pretty small town with, you know, already 2 months into the new year and already seven issues with migrants. It's not good stuff. Not good stuff. But you know that's just hate facts, right? Am I right? That's just hate facts. By the way, this is Antifa. Antifa is idiots. Why are they masked?
Say it loud! Say it clear!
Tear down the border. What? Tear down the borders? Let's say status for all. Oh my God. That's a It's a good thing you're not in charge of the country.
Refugees are welcome here! Say it loud! Say it clear!
The problem with okay, let's go back to that one sign. Oh, okay. Actually, it says it right here. Same shit. More Muslims, less racist. The problem is that's not possible. Because it's self-conflicting, because the more Muslims you bring in, statistically speaking, the more racists you bring in. We already went over this with the whole Jew thing. The whole anti-Semitism in Islam. We already went over this. The more Muslims you bring in, the more fascist, theocratic, racists you bring in. Fucking idiots. But see. This is the problem. It's. As much as I say, fucking idiots, it's not them. We have to remember, it's not them. Like, it's them, but it's not them. They are not the root of the problem. They are the useful idiots. They don't have the facts. And when you try to present them to the facts, they're told, oh my God. They've been trained to say, oh my God, I hate this. Block. That's their training. They have been told peace, tolerance, diversity. Diversity is our strength. Woo! Bunch of hippie ass idealistic nonsense. Okay, it doesn't work. You can have ethnic diversity, but you have to have strong civic nationalism. You have to have it. Otherwise, your country's fucked. You have no country. Either that or you live under an imperial fascist rule. Simple as that. I choose civic nationalism. But no borders. No. This is the problem with this. Is these people think the vast majority of these people, I am very certain they are not bad people. They are not bad people. Okay? They are not bad people. And you might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? I'm saying that as, oh. I say that because they think they're doing good. They think they're doing good because they don't have the facts. If you have bad information, you're going to make bad tactical moves. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And this is the issue with the serious issue with M-103. Because once you start setting the precedent that facts, criticism against Islam, which is factual-based counter-arguments to Islam, right? They're factual-based, hey, Islam sucks in this area, or here, or there, or generally speaking, almost everywhere, if you go by the fundamentalist interpretation of Islam. Even the liberal interpretation doesn't quite understand what they're up against, I think. I don't think they understand what they are up against. Even the liberal Muslim, which does exist, he's a minority. He's a minority. I'm sorry, he is a minority. That's the fact, based on Pew Research polls. The liberal Muslim is a minority. He is not the majority. That's a hate fact. That would land me in jail. That would land me in jail if you have M-103 upgraded from a motion to a bill, which should never be discussed. I'm sorry, that argument should not happen in our parliament. I would, and I'm not like saying like, oh, fascism. I mean, the reason why that, if I thought that argument should happen, it would be like me saying, oh yeah, full support for M-103 because there's a debate to be had here, and it's like, no, there isn't a debate to be had here. Freedom, fuck you. That's what it really comes down to. That's the end of debate. Done. You know what I mean? I know. I was never one of those. Why do Americans always preach about freedom? Freedom alone is just stupid. You could be free and poor as shit, and it's like, yes, you can. But at the very least, you're free to do, to if you're a slave to a job, you're a slave to a job. You can't go anywhere. If you're free to switch your position, your occupation, like if you don't live in a caste system, like imagine somebody being put as a doctor who doesn't want to be fucking a doctor in a caste system, or what the fuck it is, and they can't not be a doctor. They can't not be a doctor. That's why all the Indians are coming to Canada, because they're like, I don't want to fucking be a doctor. I don't want to marry somebody from my village. I want to be free. Freedom, right? I've talked with these people. These people are actually pretty good people. As much as people like, oh, fucking Indians, fucking Punjabi motherfuckers, right? It's like, I'm not too bad. Like as long as they're not the Indian, or sorry, Muslim Indians, I'm not too fond of those people. But the Hindu / Catholic, there's Catholic Indians, perfectly fine. They second to Europeans and English-speaking Europeans, like British Isles, basically. Second to British Isles, and Americans, I would put Indians on third place in terms of culture-wise, as them being, well, okay, sorry, fourth, because I forgot about Australia. I'm sorry about it. Sorry, mate, I forgot Australia. I would put India on fourth place because they have things like Bollywood. They speak pretty decent English. They're nice and respectful. They engage with you. They're open to engaging with the populace. Like I can talk to Indian women. And I don't mean Indian teepees and shit. I don't mean that shit. I mean like India women. And it's not a problem. Perfectly fine. They're oh yeah for sure. Oh yeah for sure. And they have a bit of an accent. Some of them don't even have that much of an accent, to be honest. It's not even that bad. It's like pretty easy to understand. It's like with somebody from like, let's say West Africa, which friendly people, you engage with them. They love to talk and engage, and they like to talk with you. You know, oh cool, what types of foods do you eat? You know, oh yeah, I eat lots of whatever the fuck and traditional dress wear and whatever, right? But they talk like this. Where are you going? You know, why don't you subscribe to this channel? Why you not subscribe to this channel? You subscribe and like to this channel. That's how they speak. That's how they speak in their broken English, and obviously that's not a West African accent, but you get the premise, right? Whereas with the Indian, it's like Indian accent is or Indian ways of English is far more like no problem, no. It's very much like that. It's like, you know, welcome. What would you like? You know, it still has an accent on it, but it's very loose. It's very easy to understand. I'm just saying. They understand cultural references. They understand certain things that, you know, if I thought, oh, a joke is funny, somebody else from another culture might not fully understand it, but because of things like Bollywood, Indians do understand it. If that makes any sense. You understand what I'm saying? Sikhs, that includes Sikhs, Hindus, Catholic Indians, you know, Buddhist Indians. I don't know if there's many of those around. I've never met one of those people, but you understand what I'm saying here? We should not immigrate people who are going to oppose our civic nationalism. We can't do that. We can't do that. Just to bring it back. And so these people don't really understand that. They understand the argument of, hey, Charter of Rights and Freedoms, when the law says you can't say something, that means you go to jail. Wait. And they don't understand, like, oh, well, that's a really fucked up thing to say. Well, they should go to jail. And it's like, well, the problem is hate speech for one thing, hate speech for all things. Then the government mandates what you can and cannot say. So I want to say, oh, funny joke. Oh, hate speech. What? I was saying a joke. I don't actually hold that position. No, it's a joke. Hate speech. Hate speech law right there. Boom. Go to jail. I don't think they fully understand that. They don't understand the argument of the slippery slope. My God, that sounded terrible. The slippery slope of hate speech law, of what you can and cannot say. If you start legislating what can and cannot be said, then you end up down. Well, then you have to have the debate. What can and cannot be said? You have to have that debate. And then that's different for everyone else. It's just, that's the freedom argument. That's the freedom argument. Eventually it's like, well, you know what? The Catholic Church, that's pretty fucked up. You know what? People pro Catholic Church, because we know atheism is truly right. Any type of creationism, gotta ban that. You know, Catholicism, that's got to be banned. Christianity got to be banned because we all know the Bible is just a big fairy tale, so got to ban that. Why don't we include, we'll put on the table capitalism, because capitalism is evil and racist. You know, it just fails all the working class people. So we got to ban discussions on capitalism and pro-capitalism sentiments. Got to ban that. Put that on the table. We'll start patriotism, because patriotism, oh God, patriotism. Do they not know what we did to the Indians? Oh, evil Canadians, evil Canadians. All these evil things that we did to the natives. Even though hint, wink, nudge, nudge. Little known fact: disease did the most of the carnage. But you gotta ban that. Patriotism. Well, once we ban patriotism, well, ban the flag, because we're an evil. I'm quoting an economics professor, or no, I don't even think this is an economics professor. I'm pretty sure this is a political professor. I'm quoting a political professor. Canada supported fascist Spain. That's what a political professor said. That didn't happen. That did not happen. I was shocked that somebody with tenure was allowed to teach that. This is the problem. And as much as, this really comes back to what I think live stream between Kraut and T and Naked Ape when they did I think the Western Front, that was their first episode, and they talk about, I think one of the questions they decided to ask, I think they asked themselves this, but they said, what do you think is the most pressing issue? Kraut said Islam, and, obviously the migrant crisis, because he's from Germany. And I think Naked Ape, I think, made the more salient point of, it's actually our pathological altruism, and it stems from what I think is the three roots in Canada, is the institutions, so the academic institutions, the media, and I had the third one off the top of my head and I just forgot it. But it's the academic institutions, the media, because there really isn't right-wing media. There is not right-wing media in Canada. It's what is there is absolutely drowned out by left-wing media, and I think the third is the idea that the narrative. They have the narrative of don't be mean. Well, okay, being mean. I'm on board. Everyone's on board for don't be mean. Everyone's on board for be nice, be polite, apologize. Everyone's on board for that. That is morally virtuous. The problem with that is you have to have everyone agree to that shit. Like, you can't apologize for things you didn't do. You can't be nice to people who want to kill you. There's certain things where it's like, you have to discriminate, practically speaking, to stop bad, ideas being imported from cultures with high rates of bad ideas, right? You understand that? You understand that you have to discriminate. If you want immigrants, you got to discriminate on people from Europe over people from Syria. It sounds terrible. It sounds fucking terrible. So, and then that's where the media comes in, because it's like they have created that. It's like a triple cycle of shit. You know what I mean? Because the media have created that cycle, which then spurs, because the institutions, basically that's where the ideas came up. They started with this idea of niceness. They were spurred on by the idea of niceness. The institutions came up with the idea of, basically anti-fascism, no KKK, no fascist USA kind of thing, right? And they teach all this absolute horseshit facts that Canada supported fascist Spain when we were literally a British at that time. We basically followed Britain's shadow. We had control over our own borders, but we didn't have really much control over our international policy. And even if we did, we basically followed their shadow when we did. So why the fuck would we support fascism when we were at war with fascism? When the Brits knew that they did not like Hitler. They didn't like Hitler. They didn't like his fascist shit at all. They were taking steps to try and stop fascism. The countries who did support fascist Spain were Germany and Italy. And you have anarcho-communist tenured economics professors. Anarcho-communism is the stupidest economic policy I have ever fucking heard. And I mean that stupidest in terms of like, I could make up a really stupid economic policy off the top of my head, like let's trade our currency will be hot dogs and WASDF keys, and then we'll make sure to import, like I could make up something fucking retarded like that. But I mean, in terms of serious, something that has some sense of groundswell, minus the really minor ones like fucking anarcho-environmentalists and anarcho-feminists and shit like that. Anarcho-communism is the dumbest ideology. Dumbest. Bar none. Because it physically does not work. It's not the fact that it's bad. It's going to lead to a bad road. It's the fact that it's physically impossible. Okay? And the reason being is because, okay, take anarcho-capitalism, for example. Anarcho-capitalism does exist. Or can exist. It has existed. It's just not very good. The Walking Dead. Take those survival shows. The Walking Dead. That's anarcho-capitalism. Because Rick and his group of dudes are constantly fighting for their property rights. And it's a shit life. It's a shit life. But it can exist. It's theoretically possible. Anarcho-communism is a pipe dream. It doesn't... How the fuck are you going to have people with agency that are not... Like, it would be different if the human race was a race of ants instead of a race of warring primates. Where ants view... Or worker bees... Of bees being no better... Basically being equal to their worker bee. You might be able to create a system of anarcho-communism in a race of worker bees. But it's physically impossible. So stupid shit like that's a tenured professor of economics, anarcho-communist. I'm not kidding. This is real shit. I have people I know in Canada that go to fucking university that I don't know why they did. Like, I understand why they did, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know why they did at the same time. Funny quote from that guy. He apparently only ever did 1 year of economics and walked out because he dropped the course. This is a tenured economic professor, anarcho-communist professor, because he knew more than the teacher. He wasn't getting anything out of this economics course. He admitted that to his class. That he dropped out of his first year of economics. Oh my god. I could laugh for days at that shit. I could laugh at days for that shit, but so it's the perpetual cycle. The niceness spurs on this idea, these idealistic bullshit pipe dreams of anarcho-communism and shit like that. Just nonsense ideas of social justice and safe spaces and things that don't actually work that spur on the media, which then spurs on the culture of idiots, the culture of useful idiots. What you see here, I mean, I don't mean to call them idiots. Useful idiot is like a quotation term for like people who don't fully understand political ideology. Doesn't mean that they're stupid people, like they don't have, they understand things like, for example, they're not like an idiot that you would see on a YouTube video driving a tricycle off a ramp over a river, over a fucking creek, and breaking their fucking neck. It's not like that type of idiot. It's more like political idiot, like, and not so much political idiot, but just like they don't understand the argument for freedom or free speech. Like, I mean, like, idiot in terms of they just haven't heard opposing arguments to their political ideology. And they're like, oh, wait, I never rationally thought about this because I've been spoon-fed the lie from the media and my professor that only had 1 year of economics. That dropped out of his first year of economics. Right? That's what it really is. It's education. We need to educate these people. Don't look at them as in like they fucking hate you, or they may emphasize their hate because they think you're hateful. Obviously in violent ways. But you gotta understand the core philosophy behind them. What they really are just people that don't understand you. They don't understand. They don't understand the facts. They don't have the facts yet. And they're making irrational. They have an irrational position and advocating for irrational ideas and policies. That's what it really comes down to. So show respect for these people. Because I've made leaps and bounds with people who thought were like biological sex. Biological sex doesn't exist. I'm gonna just play this video while I'm talking just to show you where all the media is, right? Because this is in French in what was it, the Quebec, one of the Quebec protests, which was kind of the largest, and that's the one where you saw the picture of the communists beating the shit out of the one guy. But just watch, just pay attention to where the media is. Pay attention to where all the big media is. The CTV, CBC, just pay attention. But I'm going to continue talking because we need to finish this up and wrap this shit up. But these are not people that genuinely hate me. Okay, so Global News, that's a big media organization in Canada. There's the CBC right there. So CBC right there, that's the state media. So all the big media organizations are on this side of the aisle, right? There's another one. I can't make that out, but it looks like maybe Vice. I'm not sure. I can't make that out. That's where they all are. Skip through this. Yeah, wow, what a dick. What a dick. Just fucking, like, those people are basically invigorated. The Napoleon quote, they have been spoken to the soul. They think, God, we gotta, because I'm a moral person, I have to oppose capitalism. I gotta fight this with violence. That's what they're thinking, right? That's what they're thinking. Let's look at this, because this is another protest that's like, this is the other side. This is the side of the free speech guys or whatever, because they have francophone flags, right? So that's Quebec flags. I mean, obviously probably a lot of separatists in their ranks, but they're anti-commies. And they have that credit. Now, where's their media? Where's the mainstream media interviewing these guys for rational points? I don't see fucking anybody. I literally cannot see anybody over there where you would think that they would be. But I mean, it's hard to see, obviously. See if he rotates the camera around a little bit. Let's look at this one.
Oh, come on! Fuck! That way. What the fuck? You ever watch Indiana Jones?
It's all in French, so you won't be able to understand what they're saying anyways. So there's not really much point. It's just watch what happens, obviously, right? But anyways, like I said, these aren't bad people. These aren't bad members. These aren't, bad people. They just have bad policies. They have really bad policies. They have really bad ideas. Separate people from bad ideas. They're advocating for bad ideas. And what it is it's the misinformation. And this is why M-103 and hate speech law is a bad precedent. Because especially with M-103. Because there are some undeniable facts when it comes to Islam and what they preach that we are not being told. Undeniable facts. Muhammad is a historical figure. Jesus, just let that play in the background, might as well. Jesus is actually not a historical figure. I'm going to explain why. You might be like, oh, Jesus actually exists, because he's Christian, right? Jesus is not a historical figure because we don't have good records on Jesus. Okay. I don't want 10-second videos. Just do that. Okay. We don't have any evidence that he ever existed because obviously his body rose to heaven, right? He was raised from the dead, and there's no evidence of his body. Basically he is the perfect runaway from his, you know what I mean? Like, he is the perfect guy to cover his tracks in terms of did he really exist, right? Muhammad is a historical figure. There's plenty written down. He lived, he died, he was written down by multiple sources. People knew he existed. Jesus, it's debatable whether he existed or how he existed, whether or not he actually was who everyone says, says he was, basically, right? Like, it's debatable, right? That's debatable. That's debatable. But Jesus, no. And so there's an undeniable fact that Muhammad had raiding parties. He killed people. He was a general. The undeniable fact that on his deathbed, he said, basically, death to all Jews, death to all Christians. He married a 9-year-old. He married a 6-year-old and consummated the marriage with a 9-year-old when she started bleeding, so to speak, right? You understand what that means, right? You understand what that means. and the Muslim faith is to emulate the Prophet Muhammad. You're not a good Muslim. You may call yourself a Muslim, but you're not really a very good Muslim, technically speaking, if you don't holy shit, did you just see that? So the cops move the guys that are doing the original protest, and then the anti-protesters are egging them on like they had some sort of victory because they're the people who the cops made a reasonable assessment, like, all right, we're gonna get more cooperation out of these people rather than these masked fascists, so let's try and make a request to move them away from the fascists, right? The Antifas. Yeah. There's, as a Muslim, you're to emulate the Prophet Muhammad. You're not a very good Muslim if you're not emulating the Prophet Muhammad. I'm sorry. Like, you can still call yourself Muslim. There's a distinction. I would. That's why I make the distinction, liberal Muslim, because you're not really emulating the Prophet Muhammad in the way that, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying here? And so that being said, there's some clear things to be talked about. There's some clear criticisms of Muhammad as a person, as something to emulate. Right? It's pretty basic, right? And so with those clear criticisms, if you block it with M-103, I know. The problem I have with the kind of the current day a little bit is the fact that everyone is terming a lot of things Orwellian. And to some extent, like, there's a difference between, like, for example, classifying, like, diagnosing someone as autistic and saying someone has autistic traits, okay? Granted, a lot of these things that the people are saying are Orwellian are definitely have Orwellian traits. Right? Definitely have Orwellian traits. That being said, I don't think it's fully Orwellian, right? It's just not quite there. Now, if you were to have a truly Islamic anti-blasphemy law, I cannot, there's no... I don't know how to say that wouldn't be at least borderline Orwellian, at the very least, because that's literally saying no. For one, it's literally rewriting history. That's the precedented sense, because Muhammad as a historical figure, it's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Look at the fucking facts. Look at his fucking Wikipedia. I'm sorry. In his Wikipedia page, he is a piece of shit. And then there'll be a whole bunch of citations of, like, oh, well, Muhammad wasn't that bad, but, you know, he did this, but he wasn't that bad. You know, Muhammad should be a historical figure and should stay a historical figure. Just like Nero is a historical figure and should stay a historical figure. Like, just like Genghis Khan should stay a historical figure. Is a historical figure and should stay a historical figure. You understand that? You understand what I'm trying to say here? This is literally, like, if you, M-103 is the first step to the second step of essentially rewriting history. Like, basically, whoever the fuck that guy was, in his, newspaper, as a journalist, blacking out historical facts in order to rewrite history. Literally, a rewriting history narrative. It's the first step. It's the first step to a really bad downward spiral of steps that I don't want to sound doom and gloom, but really, I really do think that this needs to be opposed for the sake of our country. I really do think that. I genuinely think that. I mean, maybe I'm fucking talking about an asshole or what the fuck, right? But that's the reality here. And that's what I think. And, but of course, you can't, when you go to jail for facts, you're no better than the Catholic Church with sending Galileo, decapitating Nicholas Copernicus for saying a truthful fact about science. You're no better. Islamaphobia law is no different than that. Only one is on history and another is on scientific fact. Now, a scientific fact, you could still have a society with a scientific fact. It's detrimental to the progress of your technological progress, right? But a historical fact sets a very dangerous precedent. Because without your history, your history dictates your people. That's the reality is. And if you don't have your history set straight, then you're fucked. You're fucked. This is why all these people, lining up here, they're completely nuts because they don't understand the Soviet Union for fucking one. Two, they're advocating for an absolutely idiotic system that's like equality, bruh. And they're assholes for one. They're acting like assholes. They think political violence is valid. Look at this shit. It's nutso. And I'm really getting sick of this shit. I'm trying my best to fight against this crap before we fucking demolge into some sort of civil fucking war. I'm trying to fight against fascism here. I'm trying to fight against the fascist regime that the original fascist, Adolf fucking Hitler, was fighting against. That's what I'm trying to fight against. I'm trying to fight against the fascist ideology that Hitler, that killed 6 million Jews, praised and thought was, oh my God, I wish Germany was Muslim because that way I would have a warrior cult to fight for as fascist. I'm trying to stop that ideology. Okay? Yeah. I'm trying to stop. I'm the real anti-fascist here. You fucks don't have your facts. I don't mean to sound like a fucking feminist here, but fucking educate yourself before you fuck up this country. Your advocacy is based on the idea that you have no idea what you're talking about. That's what your advocacy is based on. And I don't want to see a civil war. I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see anger. I don't want to see people raped. I want to be nice. I want to have, I want to be nice to people. I want people to be nice to me. I want to have, a nice kumbaya circle. But I can't have that if I can't refuse people who want to fucking kill me, who want to kill what is it? Lesbian Jewish woman. I can't have a society where I'm just like, yeah, okay, you're a lesbian Jewish woman. What the fuck? I don't care about your identity. Cool. I'll sell you some products and services. I don't give a fuck. It's great for you. Rent out this apartment. Great. Whatever. I don't fucking care. You're not my choice. But freedom, right? That's my freedom argument. But we can't have that society where people treat the lesbian Jewish woman like that. If we import people who literally hate Jews, death to all Jews, we can't have that Hitler praised because of their stance on Jews, right? That that hate gay people. Hang gay people. We can't and subjugate women into a fucking Zaboomafoo costumes like this. We can't have an open society. We can't have a freedom. We can't be nice to these people. We have to say fuck you. Get out of our country. It really comes down to this Trudeauian idea of you kill your enemies, you win. No. It's saying, I'm a nice person, I love you, doesn't stop your head from being chopped off by the sword. It doesn't. There's this thing called the real fucking world, and not this idealistic niceness of, if we just love the terrorists more, they'll stop being terrorists. No, if we fucking blow them up, drone strike their ass, shoot them. My personal favorite is kinetic operations because it's far more successful, obviously, than drone striking, carpet bombing, any of the other shit. You have to kill terrorists. That's how you stop terrorists. How you stop terrorism is killing terrorists. That is just a mind-blowing, like, oh my god, I can't believe you're a bigot. That's a bigoted statement to some people in Canada. To some idiots in Canada. To some people are like, well, yeah, but, I mean, you can't deny that saying mean words creates more terrorists. It's like, bitch, their religion creates more terrorists. Here's the facts. Boom, 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 boom. Uh-oh. Woo, woo, woo. Go to jail for 9 months. Goodbye. Hate facts. $500,000 fine. Like, it's their book. It's their book. I just can't. I mean, I know I'm ranting on for a long fucking time, but I think it proves the point of this is nut bar. I'm probably need to calm the fuck down now and just I've kind of worked. You get on the microphone and you try to hammer down a point with some passion. You kind of build up this rage of passion. Speaking into the mic, so it's now the time to just end this fucking shit. Where just I'm speaking up before they fucking make it illegal, right? I'm speaking up before they make it illegal. So I'm trying to get my voice out here. I'm getting up my ideas. Can now just I'll let it out there, let it out online. It's freeing to do this stuff to some extent. It's therapeutic because you'll just let go of all this tension and worry and fears because you're like, you know what? At least I made a stand on what I believe is right and wrong instead of self-censoring myself. And it's nice, it's freeing, but at the same time, in the immediate moment, you work yourself up. you're kind of under some stress. So it's time to end this stream. I hope you got what you got out of this. I got a Twitter, I got a Skype, DMs are open, got a Gmail. It's all in the fucking description. So I hope you enjoyed this shite. And yeah, have a good one, guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to be a pessimist, and I don't know the future, so I don't know whether this is going to be opposed or not. I think the motion is going to go through. I really do think the motion is going to go through, and it depends what type of politician comes around in, I think it's going to be 2019, 2018. It depends what type of politician comes around then. But until then, I don't know if we're gonna get to the point of a bill, an Islamophobia bill, but if we do, that's one of those things where it's like a law I just won't follow. I won't follow it. I will be. I would have to go to jail for my beliefs, and the reason being is because it really is the torch being passed on to the next generation. Our boys, our countrymen, potentially my great-grandfather, which I have no idea if he ever saw any fighting, but he was still drafted in World War I. These men, they had to fight bullets for, freedom and liberating especially in World War II, liberating the European continent from fascism. That they had to face bullets, they had to sacrifice their lives for freedom. And the way I look at it is, if I have to go to jail for hate speech, speech that, I look at it as just like, it's a much smaller price to pay than what they have done. You know what I mean? It's a much smaller price to pay. And so if they tried to pass an actual bill, and I'll obviously have my day in court, right? But the law is the law. Let's face it, the law is the law, and if you don't follow it, you're subject to the consequences. And I'm a guy with a shitty fucking job, no family, no. Like I was saying, my woman, and I was saying that hypothetically because I'm completely single. All I have really is my immediate family, and that's about it. And fair enough. I'll be honest. I'm not one of those social people. You know what I mean? And so I have little to lose. I have pretty much nothing to lose. Let's be honest here. I'm a young guy. I'm passionate. I have a cause, and there's probably a lot more guys out there like me that they're just they see all their people their age chasing this weird fucked up dating life that results to nothing. They watch all their fucking parents and parents' friends get divorced, and they want a cause, and the cause is, what I do on this channel and what I do on YouTube, and they have a shitty job, and there's nothing really to lose. I don't own any fucking financial assets. I own a fucking pretty cool computer. That's about it, And even then, I cheaped out on some things, and I did it. ordered the parts myself because I knew how to put it together, and it would save me, like $500 or something. I don't know. I'm just estimating, but so we don't have much to lose, and we are the perfect people to put literally our freedom on the line for what we see as freedom. You know what I mean? We are the perfect demographic of people to risk going to jail by the state for something that we see as an infringement of our values, our freedom, and just simply carrying the torch that hundreds of thousands of men before us have died for. Okay? We are the perfect demographic for that. And so I'm not advocating that, fight this to the death, fight this till you go to jail, blah, 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 right? I'm not advocating for that. I'm just trying to say that as this is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And so the idea of going to jail is scary as fuck, obviously, right? You don't know who the fuck wants to go to jail, but I have to be honest. Would I break the law if the law was saying you cannot say the fact, can't say the truth? Would I break the law in that case? I find a very hard argument to argue against. Let's put it that way. I know that's pretty morbid, but you have to theorize on what's next and what's your next chess move after this M-103 thing, which is it's gonna get passed because there's no fucking way Trudeau won't. They have a majority government in the parliament, and it's gonna go through. So the next step would be an actual bill. A motion, I would completely oppose a motion, and I would just say, no, the charter trumps your stupid fucking motion. Go fuck yourself. And legally, I should be on the right side unless the judge was essentially in the wrong. You know what I mean? But then there's also the precedent that provincially, especially the ones that are very disenfranchised with the federal government, such as Quebec, which you saw had a huge, had one of the bigger gatherings of this tension, right? Of this, this opposition to Islamophobia bills, right? Or stop Islamophobia bills. That's what it's more authentically characterized as, or more authentic description of it, right? And provinces like that, technically speaking, they might have politicians that just outright say, we are not following the federal government. They could have politicians that make a stand federally like that. So what's your move, federal government? You going to come in and initiate martial law? Like, are you going to come in and physically remove us? And, I have a hard time thinking that the federal government, depending on who's in power, it could potentially happen. That could potentially happen because they're like, no, we have to enforce the federal thing. But federal mandates, right? Bills, they're federal wide, they're countrywide, right? We have to enforce bills based on our country. But technically speaking, there's no federal precedent for for any type of federalization of Canada. It's really weird, but it's like Confederacy. What's a confederacy? As a political ideology, an association of sovereign states or communities. Examples include confederated tribes. But as a political philosophy, let's look at this definition. An alliance or league, especially of confederate states. That's, believe it or not, Americans fought a war over Confederacy, reforming their government into Confederacy. Canada is the Confederacy. Canada is, they talk about Confederation all the time. Confederation Bridge. It's just a league of alliance. Okay. Alliance or a league. What does that say? Sounds like a military alliance. That's what a confederacy is. Okay? Confederacy is just a military alliance for the most part. It's like, all right, we're basically allies to the death, but we still maintain our sovereignty in many respects, right? A trade federation from Star Wars. The Confederacy of Independent Systems. That's what CIS stands for in Star Wars. It's what a confederacy is. It's simply an alliance in trade or military wise. So to say that if the federal government came in and essentially took over a provincial a provincial government with force in Canada, technically speaking, that would be illegal. On the legality of the Confederacy of Canada, on Confederation, that would technically be illegal. Technically speaking, which is really interesting if you think about it. So I think there's plenty of provinces that would elect. It would start with the premier level, I believe. With I guess this is the silver lining to this thing, is the provincial government could elect leaders that essentially we're not following Bill Islamaphobia, right? Stop Islamophobia, right? And so then the federal government is now in a position of some really fucked up things. Either they don't have this federal bill go through, or they don't have this federal bill being enforced in that province because they won't enforce it, or they enforce it by force, which is technically speaking, according to the definition of a country, definition of our country, the Dominion of Canada, which is a confederation of British provinces, would technically be, legally speaking, illegal. Now laws are whether or not you can enforce them or not, but it's illegal by their standards. It's illegal by their standards, technically speaking. So that's the silver lining to try and make this less morbid. That's gone on basically half an hour after I said it's time to finish. But I figured I'd end it with the game plan. I'll probably make another video because I think this is really important, and I'll make another video that's much better and easier to digest and easier to share, rather than being like, hey, listen to this whole live stream and skip to the last 30 minutes and listen to this guy ramble on 1 point for 30 minutes, right? I'll probably make something better on that topic, but until then, that's the silver lining, so to speak. I find it would be very hard for I find it quite likely or fairly likely that provincial premiers, elected officials of provinces, a confederated province would take a stand on the federal government, because we already have literally premiers that do that and have done that always before. On something, most of it is tough talk, but also passing a lot of independent laws. But nevertheless, opposition to a federal bill could potentially be, as much as the federal government would say that that's illegal, it would technically be in the right in terms of what we are as a country, essentially, right? And I like the idea of confederation rather than a union, because Quebec wants different things than what Alberta wants. Just simple as that. Let them have their cake. Why does one person have to dictate what they want over the other person? If it's too far apart, then fine, become different countries. But at the same time, if you want to be a confederation, which is just an alliance, a trade alliance, a military alliance, which frankly is what Canada should be, because it's just with some civic nationalism put in there. That's really what Canada should be, I think, right? I don't if Toronto wants to run their fucking economy into the ground, and fucking run their economy into the ground. You know what I mean? It does affect us, but it's like I can't determine their tax policies. I can't determine their environmentalist policies, and they shouldn't determine mine. You know what I mean? That's all for now. It's gone way too long. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. I hope you enjoyed listening to this fucking shit. Yeah, I'll make something on this far more condensed and concise, obviously. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.